Hey friends, I'm Isabeau Keonaona Waia'u Walker, and this June I will be retiring from teaching. I have tried to do this video maybe 12, 13, 14 times, and while those earlier ones were super helpful in me working out how I would communicate this to different people who I hold a different relationship to as a teacher, professionally, socially, I'm grateful for it, but I watch them back and I am all over the place. Very hard to follow because I swing between absolute excitement and disbelief that this moment that we've been working for is here, and then within seconds I am jumping to Isabeau, the verbal processor of concern and worry, and what if I fail, and what if this doesn't work out, or what if the people that I'm leaving, what if my students don't know how much I love them and have loved teaching, all that. So it was all over the place. Holy crap. And there's a place for that. And honestly, it's okay to post those things. I just needed this to be, more on point because I've waited a long time for this conversation. So, yeah. This June 2019 will be 11 years of teaching for me, specifically within the Canby School District. Quite a surprise that my teaching career has been wholly completed within the school district, but it's had a lot of ups and downs bouncing around. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But yes, this will be 11 years of teaching. 12 years ago, I was beginning my student teaching as part of my grad program. And I have a very clear memory of a pink form being passed around. And our professor asked us to list our top 5 or 6 schools that we wanted to get placed in. So I listed 5 or 6 schools within the Portland Public School District because I was living in Portland and I'd been volunteering in Portland. I had been volunteering at Madison High School, and I thought this is why I'd be staying in Portland, was like to teach. And if not in these schools, then why am I not going back to Hawaii? And then, well, also because Tyson. So I fill out my list, and I remember my last day that had an alternate option. I put Clackamas High School because my grandparents at that point lived near Clackamas High School, and I thought I lived in their basement during grad school, so I thought at the very least it would be convenient. Nothing against Clackamas High School, just didn't feel compelled to teach there. So I turned my form in. I don't know how much time passed, but I hadn't received any word back about my placement, and I get a call. It says, "Congratulations, Isabeau. We have your student teaching placement. You've been placed at Canby High School." Isabeau 12 years ago wouldn't have even thought to challenge that. So I didn't even have the mindset to go, wait a minute, that's not what I asked. So I just said thank you, and where is Canby? Because I didn't know of Canby, Oregon. I was probably disappointed, not because I knew what Canby was and was disappointed in Canby, but it wasn't what I had asked for. So they let me know my advising teacher, my mentor teacher, would be a woman named Erin Walsh. They gave me her contact information and said that we'd be in touch shortly. Speed forward, I ended up going after school. One day after classes, I drove out to Canby High School and met up with Erin, and she was in the corner classroom in the 400 hall, and we sat down and talked and walked around, and I remember a few things. I was super intimidated by her because she was strong, and that's not bad. I liked it, and I also thought, I really hope she likes me. The way she organized her room, her pedagogy, all of that, immediately I was drawn to it and attracted to it. Thought I can work and thrive within this setting. And then just in our small talk, even though I was very nervous and very intimidated because I just wanted her to like me, I could tell that the students that she spent herself on would be the students that I wanted to also seek out and make room for. So it felt like we were of common heart, and that I wasn't going to have to put a ton of energy fighting against her to do what I felt like I was meant to do in the classroom. So that put me at ease. Still wasn't sure about this town or whether or not this high school would even receive me well, but I knew I was in good hands with Aaron and had an amazing experience as a student teacher. Super tired. To all you student teachers or you aspiring teachers who are going fresh out of your undergrad or coming out of another career to teach, so much empathy and respect, especially for that season when you're going to school and you're negotiating all the grad school requirements, and then you're showing up in these classrooms and you're trying to build relationships with these teenagers, with these students, even if they're not high schoolers, and it is so taxing. It is obviously worth it because I gave myself to it year after year after year, and I would continue doing it if I didn't also have this really deep-seated passion for my music. But looking back now, it is so clear to me how scared I was, sleep deprived, that balance between trying to prove that you know your content well enough that they can trust you, but also just being an honest human and saying no teacher knows everything. And I don't think a teacher who says they know everything, or he or she knows everything, they should probably not be trusted. It's a weird dance because you have these students who expect you to know everything, and you're maybe too young to say that's an unrealistic expectation. You probably don't even want me to be that kind of person. Anyway, so much respect for current teachers, aspiring teachers, and I empathize so much with those beginning years of student teaching and going back and forth between being a student and being a teacher. Ouch. The back and forth years of being a student and being a teacher and having to be a sponge and take everything, but also be expected to pour out. What a scary season. It's romantic looking back at it because it felt so new, and it was just the beginnings, and it is beautiful, but my goodness, what a weird time. So that was 12 years ago. I finished my time at Canby High School as a student teacher. Felt a lot of emotions because, like, probably any student teacher, but particularly Isabeau student teacher, wherever I am, I root myself, for better or for worse, and then it just hurts like hell when you have to leave. So this town that I didn't really want to go to, that I thought it was a mistake that they placed me there, at the end of my stint, I thought, my goodness, I can't leave. But I did, and I went to my middle school setting, worked at Sunnyside Middle School. Loved that too. It was different, very different. And then heard that there was a position opening up within the social studies department. Someone was retiring, and they thought I should apply, which I was excited for, but I also knew that everyone and their mother and every coach applies for the social studies position, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to coach, nor did I have the resume that would put me above other coaches. I think I just wanted to teach. Didn't know if I was being picky, but I applied for it. I got an interview, and I remember doing my interview on a cell phone, sitting in my parents' bathroom back home on Maui. I was at the Nihoa Street House, and I remember it was on my birthday because I was home for a short little bit of time, and we all went out to coffee at this rando spot around the corner, and then had to rush back because I had this interview. And I get on the interview, and it's a group. I can't remember everyone in the group that was interviewing me, but I do remember at one point my brother, my wonderful brother, needed to use the bathroom, and he started banging on the door. So I'm trying to come across as like an adult. Like, trust me, hire me, I'm capable, I have so much potential. And then to hear this crazy knocking, and then me have to get off the phone and be like, Leo, I'm on an interview. Like, I'm trying to get a high school position. I thought surely I didn't get the job after that. But I did. And there were jokes here and there about why I got the job once I was hired into the department. We won't go into that right now. But I probably believed those jokes, sadly, for a long time. But I can tell you, closing out my 11th year, I don't believe those jokes. I feel like I've grown into a damn good teacher who loves her students, who is growing herself. So if I don't know something or don't know how to do it well, you can be sure that I'm going to figure it out, and that I'm going to find the people who do know how to do it, and I'm going to ask them to teach me so that I can bring it back and teach them, meaning my students. And then all the other stuff that has to go with teaching that's nothing to do with content, because it's more just about relationship. Because you can't really learn if you don't feel safe. So, hopefully you stuck with me. Little reminder, this June, I'm retiring from my teaching career. I'm sure some of you think that's a joke, and you're like, oh, you're just quitting, you're moving to another school, you're taking a break. No, I am retiring. Yes, maybe because I am a teacher, I will find my way back into this career, or I don't know, I feel like if you do it the way you should do it, it's a calling. I may very well find my way back into it. It might not take on the appearance of a typical classroom with 4 walls and a bell schedule. However, I know that's in me. It will always be in me. But as far as my teaching career is concerned, and the need to stick with it for financial reasons or security or for familiarity, I'm walking away, and I'm closing that door, and I'm leaping into a new season of giving myself fully to my music and all the projects and people and community and small businesses that have built up around it to either support it or keep its flame going. So I've never had this kind of time or space to give to it. So as much as I've been planning, that Tyson and I have been planning, I understand that a lot of this is unknown territory for me. So even with these blueprints, I anticipate that a lot of this is just going to have to unfold. And there's only so much I can do to make sure that these plans take on the shape and form that I've been hoping and working towards. But a lot of this too, the excitement of it and the terrifying part of it, and I really mean terrifying, and I'm not going to cry right now, but I've definitely cried about this, is I just don't know for sure. I'm leaving a setting where I've always been in school. Not always, but since I can remember, I've either been a student or a teacher. I literally have school pictures to mark the whole way. It is in very odd progression. Very beautiful because it's life, but I don't want to show all of you. So this leap is both rewarding because Tyson and I have been strategizing and planning and making adjustments in our day-to-day life and how we live, in hopes that it would materialize into a situation where I could take this leap, take the risk of this leap without it potentially becoming a burden to the people we love, our family, our community. We wanted it to be something where it could be a risk that we launch into, and that the way I do music, how I do music, why I do music, and all the people and projects and collaborations surrounding it, that I wouldn't be in a position where I leapt from one thing and into something where I would have to compromise my heart and soul about it to make up the difference financially, monetarily. So it's exciting because it's here and I can leap. And what a gift, what a privilege, what a reward for something that just felt like a plan for a decade plus. It still doesn't feel real, honestly, because I've never done anything like this. Never seen anything materialize like this. It's always just kind of been a pipe dream. And then in the same breath, it is so terrifying because it is unlike anything I've ever done. I have no template apart from the schemes and plans and the hopes that it kind of just evolves in that direction. I just don't know, and it's not as familiar as what education and teaching has been to me, where I know the schedule, I know the bounds that I have to work within, I know what I can push up against and what I can't, I know how I can kick ass while staying in my lane, and I've learned how to engage others, adults and students alike, to be a part of that process and to learn from them too. So it's teaching is my heart. My students, I love them. And I actually feel like I'm better at it than when I first started, but I'm also confident that I haven't been able to give the kind of heart and time and resources to this other important passion, I would say, call of mine to do this music work. And it remained on the back burner for years, like fully on the back burner. And then I started trying to move it forward and realized there's just not enough time and energy and heart to do both fully. So then I tried to cut back some stuff in teaching. And it's kind of gone back and forth like that. And now we're at the end of the 11th year, and I have realized that I have an opportunity to leap, and I do not want to compromise my responsibility as a teacher to my students and colleagues and the community around them. And I can't compromise my spirit anymore, which is backburnered music in a big way for a long time. So this is my release, my retirement. It is very important to me that my students, past and present, the ones I'm graduating with, and the ones that will remain, that I love them. And that my retirement is a celebration and launch. For me, it is not a leaving of them or a rejection of them, and I'm still crazily interested in who they are and what they're up to. To the community and the staff and the colleagues who have held me up for years, who have supported me and vouched for me, I love you guys too. And this is, again, not a leaving. Well, it is leaving. It's not a flipping off or a rejection of this career path or of education. I just got to follow through with this opportunity and with this passion of mine. So I got to go. And I'm excited, and I'm scared, and I am overjoyed, and I'm sad to leave all at once. So if I look a little crazy in the days to come, if those of you who see me on a day-to-day basis or see me at a gig coming up soon, or if you see me at graduation, know that if I'm looking like I'm kind of swinging between the opposite ends of the spectrum, I probably am. But just know I love you. Big time. And I'm just trying to negotiate my heart. Cool. Okay. Wow, I can't believe I was really wordy. I was really chatty in this, but I think I got it all out. I'm sure many of you will have questions. If you're a student of mine, a peer friend of mine, and you have more questions, if you can't get to me in person, just send me a message. I will do my best for those close relationships to respond to you personally. And for those of you who I don't know personally, but if you have questions, if you feel up to it, you can ask them below. It could be about the why, the how. This is just all I feel like I can share in this video. Yeah, let me know if you have questions. For those who already know, thank you so much for being excited for me. I've really needed that. It's helped counter the nervousness of a departure like this. I know it sounds crazy, and I am sure it sounds premature, overly bold. But I hope I can put you at ease by saying, I'm okay. We're good. I'm really excited, and the only thing I'm afraid of is that I'm just not good at leaving anything. Thank you for being excited with me. Small cool fact, When I first started teaching, I got hired right at the onset of the Great Recession. Obviously, it had been happening. Like, things had been set in place. The dominoes had been set in place and toppling for quite some time. But when I was hired, that's when the evidence of it started to move through the country, through the world, like a tsunami. And with that came a number of layoffs. So within the first 5 years of teaching at the high school, I was laid off 4 times. And I mean, those of you who've ever been laid off before, it's a little tiring. It also put me in a place where I had to think about things like, is there something I can do to position myself for something different in the future? Because I can't even rely upon something that everyone said was a stable job. After my 4th layoff, there wasn't any money to be moved around the budget to bring me back like the previous ones. And one of the middle schools in the district, the principal was a parent to 2 students I had taught earlier in my career at the high school. And she called me up and asked if I'd be up for being a middle school social studies teacher. And I didn't say yes right away. Asked for a little bit of time, but eventually took the job, and I'm really glad I did. It was nothing, kind of like just entering Canby High School altogether. It was not what I expected. Didn't think that's where I would be at, but so damn grateful that I ended up there. So thank you, Jennifer Turner. And my first 7th grade classes, that group of students, they are the seniors graduating in a few weeks from Canby High School, where I'm back at. So when the new principal, Greg Dinza, first worked with a couple of friends of mine at the high school, Erin Walsh, Ken Jex, to get me in for an interview for this part-time position, this 3/4 time position that I'm in right now, I remember thinking how cool that would be. I didn't have any firm plans at that point, but I thought it would be kind of cool, you know, to follow them up to the high school, and then after 6 years of being with them, to graduate with them. And I'm not graduating, I'm retiring, but it's probably as close as it's gonna get to something like that. So that's not why I'm leaving, but I got to sit with that today and think about how that's a little cool gift from my heart. There are a lot of students I'm leaving behind that I'm not happy about leaving behind. I know they'll be okay. They're in really good hands, very good hands. But I am grateful that that first 7th grade bunch, that 6 years later I can bid farewell to a really big season of my life with them. So, very cool. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you have questions below. Thanks for being excited with me. And yeah, stay tuned. More to come. But for now, I just had to let you know. Okay. Be good to each other. I'm well aware that my lips are super chapped right now, and I just could not focus any energy on fixing it because I was just trying to get through this in as concise a manner as possible, which I was not very concise, but better than the other day. Much better. So, you know, it's all growth.